Hello and welcome again to the Studentpreneur. And I'm happy to have you here because I feel honored to have to bring this information to you so that you develop yourself as an entrepreneur and also basically based on the type of business that you have so that this channel can give you the tips and the information that you need in order to continue to expand and to grow your business. So we're going to talk about an interesting topic, how to get your business out there from an idea to an actual business. Because as a consultant, when I decided to become an author, it was not something that I thought of and I started it right away. The idea to become an author came to me about 10 years ago when I worked at an establishment. And I said to myself, I need to have something documented so that young people and also the youth and children are able to pick up the documents and to learn from it. So I was able to develop these books. I'm a child, I'm not too young. Tell me now. Don't doubt yourself, just the focus, the preparation phase, the execution phase, and the expansion phase of business. And it is interesting to note that the idea came to me as a thought. And usually, when you think of something, it comes to you as a little thought, and you say, but I'm thinking of something that I want to do, but I want to get it out there. So, how do I get it out there? What do I do? How do I strategize? So, I wrote down the idea, and then I said to myself, how am I going to get it out? How am I going to do it? Because one of the things that I have to focus on is what are the topics that I'm going to focus on in each aspect of the book. So I laid it down on paper and I was able to interview about four people who I knew who worked in entrepreneurship and small business. And based on the idea that I had, then I was able to formulate my books in order to get it to where I wanted it to be today, which has been a success today, and where young people and children are using them in order to educate themselves and also to assist them in starting their businesses and to growing their businesses. So the idea came to me, I wrote it down, I wrote down the topics, I spoke with the individuals, I got some tips, I was able to, brainstorm with them, and they were able to assist me in formulating the various topics. Now, what I did, I wrote down everything that I think I needed to put into the books. So I wrote down everything that I wanted to, gather on each topic in the book. For example, how to become an entrepreneur. I put down my thoughts. What is the process of entrepreneurship? Put down my thoughts. How to start a business. I put down my thoughts. How to set up the business. I put down my thoughts. How to, employ your staff. How to record your expenses. How to record your income. How to do your statements. So I wrote everything on paper. And do you know what? 10 years later, I was able to get the papers of that document. And what did I do with it? I was able to bind it officially and also to shelve it. So at least I have my document to show that this is how I started becoming an author. It's always wise to put everything that you've done on paper, and also you put a date on it, and you also put your name and your signature. That is proof, that is your intellectual property that this thing came from you. So nobody can say it was their idea when it becomes, you know, an excellent product. When it eventually starts to get out there and to grow into sales, then you have all your information that you need in order to verify that you are the author of that information. Now, it does not have to be books. It could be a product that you're launching and you came up with the idea and you drew your prototype. It could be as ugly as can be. Make sure you date it and make sure you sign it with your name, because that is your authority. That is your intellectual property, your IP, that this idea came from your head. Okay? So don't be afraid. Document things. Now, if you are somebody who is unable to preserve things, take it to the library or put it in the bank. Pay for one of the little the little boxes that they have, and put it in there. Yes. So you preserve your intellectual property. It is very wise that you preserve your intellectual property because it is very easy for someone to say that this idea came from them if you do not have your information to prove that it came from you. So take it from me. Always preserve your intellectual property. Whether you're writing a book, whether you are developing a product, whether you're expanding on an item or an asset, anything that you do, make sure that you put your intellectual property in place. That is the draft of the book or the prototype or the drawing of the product that you're going to launch. Whatever you're doing, always make sure that you save your draft. Okay, so let's continue. So after I did that and I came up with the draft of everything that was I was thinking of in order to put this into the book, then I hit the ground running. So I studied very slowly, based on the each topic that I did in the books. I actually went and interviewed individuals who had enough information and resources on the topic. So I went and I spoke with them and I interviewed them, and I was able to develop my ideas in the books using my intellectual property. I was also able to visit various business places. For example, in my books has information about the Bureau of Standards. Now, it's very important that businesses who are into agro-processing, agriculture, the processing of various products and services, products, sorry, then it's important that you follow the Bureau of Standards guidelines. Okay, because this helps you to operate as a professional. You may not necessarily want to advertise your product locally only, because I'm sure your idea is to expand your business into the regional market as well as expand your business into the international market as well. So it's important that you take that product and you promote that product in such a way that it is professionally done. So in writing up the guides, I was able to liaise and also to have meetings and to have discussions with a number of professionals in the respective fields, as I said, that I worked on, and then that helped me in order to get my guide going using my intellectual property and the resources from my thoughts. Okay. Now, after I did that, then I was able to interview stalwarts. Now, the stalwarts that are in my book are people who have had businesses for years and they still operate today. And the businesses have expanded. They are not micro businesses as they used to be before. They are not proprietors as they used to be before. They moved from proprietorship to partnership to all of them companies. So it shows that the businesses grew from proprietorship to companies. And this business still operates even today. So the idea is to to speak with them and to do case studies. Now, one of the focus of my case studies is to ask them, how did you start? What are the challenges did you face in business? And how were you able to brace against those challenges? Not only that, what are the lessons learned throughout the period that you had this business? And I was able to also put my lessons that I learned by just interviewing them. So all these things are going to assist young people who are reading the books to learn not from my experiences only, but from experiences from stalwarts, as I call them, people who have done that, been there, and are still going concerns. So it's important that when you're in business, you collaborate. I could not have prepared 4 business training guides on entrepreneurship by myself. So it's important to collaborate with other people so that when your product gets out there, it means that it's an all-inclusive product. And also to collaborate not only with adults, but also with children. Because with this book, I'm a child, I'm not too young, tell me now, I was able to collaborate with the young children. And one of the things that I did was to work with them and with their parents. So they were able to look at the guide, review the guide, read from the guide, and whatever necessary changes I had to make, I made those changes. So it is very, very, very critical to get on board to have a feel and to have a read of whatever document or whatever product that you are launching out there, that other people take the opportunity to read it, to read your books, if it's books, to use the product, if it's a product that you're familiar with, so that they give their reviews. So when you actually launch the item, then other persons are aware that yes, I've used that product. So I think you should buy it too. Okay, so collaboration in business is critical, communication in business is critical, and also networking in business is critical as well. Because after I prepared the guides, I was able to work with a number of agencies, and I practiced my social responsibility. What did I do? I was able to hand out guides to a number of the young children to so that they are able to read it out of my own, intervention, ensuring that they are able to have a copy of the guide, they're able to learn from it, and that they're able to help their friends who some of them may have micro businesses and others who are thinking of having their micro businesses. So that document was able to help them to, what would I say it, to learn from my experience in the book so that others could learn as well. So this is me, and this is a summary of what I wanted to share with you today. And I just wanted to encourage other persons who want to start their businesses, who wants to start as an author, who wants to start with a product and does not know how to start. This is a very interesting video. You can listen to it, you can share it with others, and you can also like my video. And you can also continue to listen to me on the Studentpreneur as we bring you videos every week so that you are informed, you are educated, and that you are able to get all the information that you need as an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship is something that is not going to end. Entrepreneurship is something that's going to be continuous. Okay? Businesses come, businesses go. Businesses start, businesses close. But the most important thing is you have the idea, you start it. You never know where that business is going to take you in years to come. So start your business and continue to listen to the Studentpreneur.